The Chicago Cubs figured out something with Ben Brown that has paid dividends, at least for today. Let's talk about it because it's a redemption time. Go Cubs. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Hey, I appreciate each and every last one of you that are tuning into this episode. I appreciate you guys so much. Remember, if this is your first time watching Chicago Cubs Central, I need you to do me the biggest favor. I need you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys for doing so. And also leave comments below. Also, if you want to be a part of the channel, guess what the best ways to do that are? You can write me an email at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail for our mailbag at 217-816-5498. Remember, Chicago Cubs Central is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs, and I appreciate you guys. So the Chicago Cubs do improve to 36-22 after nabbing a 2-zip win over the 29-30 Cincinnati Reds. That's right. Chicago Cubs did beat down one of their division rivals. And again, we got another W. Now, hopefully tomorrow we can go for the series win against these Cincinnati Reds. Ben Brown is the player of the game and the main topic of today's episode. Why is that? Because Ben Brown has struggled, guys. I think we've all talked about it. I've talked about it ad nauseum. We have talked about how Ben Brown has struggled to get outs, how he struggled with his command of the strike zone, how he struggled to be able to figure out how to get outs. And this is a league where you have to get outs. You have to. I'm not necessarily saying every game needs to be a no-hitter or a one-hitter game. But what I am telling you is that every game you have to be able to get outs and prevent teams from having big innings. And the last three starts before this, Ben Brown seemed very incapable of getting the big outs and closing up innings and finishing up innings. And like I said, he was giving up the home run ball, and he was doing a lot of things that just were not conducive for the Chicago Cubs getting victories and keeping their lead in the Central Division. So, I mean, like I said, the Chicago Cubs had to figure something out. And instead of replacing Ben Brown or sending him back to AAA, as I and others said, the Chicago Cubs did, however, move Ben Brown back an inning, and they allowed Drew Pomeranz to start this game. And Drew Pomeranz came out and got 2-3 quick outs in that first inning for the Chicago Cubs. And that just alleviated a lot of the pressure off of Ben. He looked a lot more comfortable in this start. He looked in control of the strike zone, and he looked like he knew how to pitch in this game. He looked confident. He looked relaxed. And again, Ben Brown's numbers speak to the same. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 1 base on balls, 9 strikeouts. That's right. You read that right. 9 strikeouts, 77 pitches, 52 of those being strikes. He dropped his ERA down to 5.72. Again, Drew Pomeranz came into the game, pitched 1 inning of shutout baseball, 0 hits, 0 base on balls, 0 strikeouts, 9 pitches, 6 of those being strikes. His ERA is 0.00. Of course, Brad Keller came into the game, pitched the 8th inning for the Chicago Cubs, and he had 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 base on balls, 0 strikeouts, on 7 of 5 pitches. And then last but not least, our closer. That's right, I'm calling him our closer now. Daniel Palencia came into the game, and he pitched the final inning, 1 strikeout, 15 pitches, 11 of those being strikes. He has a 1.74 ERA. It seems as though the Chicago Cubs bullpen has figured out how to be successful this season. They have a recipe right now that's working. And honestly, like I said, we should all be excited about that. The Chicago Cubs are figuring things out, and it's looking good for the Cubs. And we will soon have Shota Imanaga back again. And again, I still believe